German Chancellor Olaf Scholz cancelled a European election campaign event this weekend to visit one of Germany's most flooded regions. Heavy rains over the past week has swelled rivers in the southwestern state of Saarland, causing flash flooding and landslides.
Wir sehen hier und können auch durch all die Nachrichten, die wir bekommen haben, seitdem das Ereignis hier für alle mit seiner ganzen Dramatik fassbar geworden ist, welche Gewalt die Natur hat, was für Zerstörung sie anrichten kann und wie sehr wir uns immer wieder auf solche Ereignisse vorbereiten müssen.
Emergency services have responded to thousands of requests for help amid what some are claiming to be the area's worst flood in 30 years. Roughly 100 kilometres away, the River Moselle has breached its banks in Traben-Trabach. The idyllic town has been hit by high water, with many cars towed from high water zones.
Around 200 people gathered Friday evening at Place de la République in Paris to light candles for the start of Shabbat, following an attack on a synagogue in Rouen. Paris Mayor Hidalgo attended the gathering and spoke of the importance of protecting holy places.
On ne touchera pas le cheveu d'un juif, on ne touchera pas les synagogues, on ne touchera pas non plus les autres lieux de culte, qu'il s'agisse de mosquées, d'églises, de temples, on ne touchera pas à cela. Parce que ça, c'est notre liberté, ça, c'est notre joie de vivre dans la diversité, dans cette diversité et dans cette tolérance qui est et qui fait l'ADN de cette ville.
The attacker, an Algerian man, had tried to burn down the synagogue but was shot dead by French police. Anti-Semitic attacks have increased massively since Israel invaded Gaza. In the first 3 months of this year, attacks have gone up 300% compared to last year.
These French soldiers are travelling to the French Pacific territory of New Caledonia, where 6 people have been killed during a week of violence. Authorities reported the latest death on Saturday, which happened during a protest and clashes with French security forces. The unrest started after Paris proposed a law giving immigrants who've lived there for 10 years voting rights. The indigenous Kanak have been pressing for independence. The descendants of French colonists want the islands to remain part of France. A state of emergency is being enforced.
8 EU states have said that parts of Syria may be secure enough to allow for some Syrian refugees to return to their homeland voluntarily. They said the situation in parts of Syria has considerably evolved, even though complete political stability hasn't returned. They added that it would lead to a more effective way of handling the Syrian refugees who in recent months have been entering the EU in greater numbers.
Η ομάδα των 8 κρατών στηρίζει την προσπάθεια της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης για προώθηση συνεργασιών με τρίτες χώρες με σκοπό τη συντονισμένη καταπολέμηση των κυκλωμάτων διακινητών. Παράλληλα από τη σημερινή συζήτηση καταγράφει την ταύτιση απόψεως σε σχέση με την πρωτοβουλία της Κυπριακής Δημοκρατίας για επανεξέταση του καθεστώτος περιοχών στη Συρία.
In the past few months, Cyprus has received more Syrian refugees, primarily from Lebanon aboard rickety boats organised by traffickers.
Pope Francis encouraged forgiveness and love on a one-day trip to Verona. The head of the Catholic Church met with ministry officials in the medieval Italian town and spoke within the Basilica of Saint Zeno. In his sermon, the Pope mentioned the genius of Shakespeare, the 16th century playwright that penned Romeo and Juliet after being inspired by Verona. Like the play, Pope Francis encouraged his attendees to sow a love that is stronger than hatred and death.
Italian football coach Massimiliano Allegri has been fired 2 days after his team beat Atalanta in the Coppa Italia final. The Juventus coach's dismissal is in response to several angry outbursts after the game on Wednesday. Among them, Allegri ripped off his jacket and applauded sarcastically. In a statement, Juventus said his behaviour was not in line with the team's values. He's been given a red card and fined €5,000. His contract was due to expire next June.